So 2 years ago, I made this Notion time tracking template for myself because I wanted to track where my time was being invested and how I was allocating my energy. And I wanted to do this in a way that wasn't just this, public thing I had to turn in, timesheets I had to turn in, but really something for myself where I could invest. The inspiration for making this was giving myself credit and giving myself evidence of the things that I was working on and the ways that I was spending my time. Because on a bad day, right, you might be like, oh, I'm not doing anything or whatever, and maybe you aren't. But if you are, it's nice to have this time tracking template to see, wow, I actually invested a lot of time in this. It was just last week, I did it maybe this week, but hey, this was the last time I did it. I think the only reason I've been able to stick with it is because I've made it fun and easy to actually use. Using it for myself. I'm not like sharing this with you guys or anybody else really, right? I'm using it to just learn more about my habits and behaviors myself. So this week marks 2 years of me creating a Notion time tracking template, which I've been using every single day since. And that's a really hard thing to come by. I don't stay consistent with a lot of things for that long, right? And still feel the same about it years later. At this point, hundreds of people have I think thousands have actually downloaded this Notion time tracking sheet. And it's something that I wanted to show how you can use it on mobile, because that's a major part of, I think, what can deter somebody from using it. How do you make it easily accessible on your phone and not having to pull out your laptop every time you want to use it? So anytime I am, deciding to, like, if I'm writing title ideas, right? But I'm doing it on my phone instead of my laptop. That's something that I would give myself credit for in my time tracking sheet. So basically what I've done is I've created a shortcut from my home page, right? Where if I hit this middle button right here, it's going to open the Notion app. Okay, and I have it opening to the last page that was open, which in this case is the template that, I share and have made for you. And it's basically a way for you to write the task that you're working on, right? If it was an email, okay, responding to blank, and then basically there's a column for time invested. So you would write 12 minutes or whatever, the time was. And the way you calculate that is there's a time created column. The time created column shows you, okay, this is the timestamp, this is when I'm beginning the actual task. And if you get diverted, if you let's say you didn't actually respond to that email or do what you were going to do, you just leave that blank. You can even make a note if you want, but I don't really even delete those blank cells, because it's kind of cool to see later on, like what, how many times did I get hung up before I actually executed this thing. So on your phone, one of the things that you can do is using the internal shortcut app that you have, you can do that. The action button on the iPhone 15 is another way of doing so, where you hold this button and it opens directly up to the Notion page, for example. But the easier way is to just make sure that on your, home page, you can actually, like I have Notion right next to where your texts and notes and those things in the dock go, right? So keep the app up to date and accessible. We're actually making it better and better to use on mobile. And so whether you are on your phone and you need to kind of give yourself credit for some time that you're logging, or you're at your computer, if you are on your phone, the way I'll show you how I did this was you open up the Shortcuts app, right? And then if I hit this one, the Open Notion, literally this is what the shortcut looks like. Okay, it's Open Notion. So you would select the app. The app is Notion. So think about whatever your goal is that you want to see yourself spending more time towards, right? Whatever, like even workout goals and health goals, I like to include in this. I'll track any time that I spend working out will actually get clocked in this. So whatever that is for you that you're trying to kind of improve, this sheet has made an immense difference for me, and I think it can for you too. And one of the best ways to do it is by making it mobile friendly. So use the Notion app, set up a shortcut if you need to, but just make it accessible and easy. Every time you open up the app, the thing I love about it is, when I hit new and I create a new sheet, The way that I kind of use it now is almost like a journal, right? It's like the most important stuff. If I think of an idea while I was working on something else, it has a place to go. Usually it's on my laptop. I always have the Notion open up in a tab or its own window kind of open. So obviously you can use Notion to be tracking your time, but one of the other ways that you can use this time tracking template is going to be as a journal. So as you're going throughout your day, you're not just documenting at the beginning of the day or the end of the night, you're actually documenting throughout the day. What am I doing? What am I spending my time on? What am I thinking about? What ideas am I having, right? This, to me, has turned some of the most boring activities into something fun, right? Because you can all of a sudden, while you're waiting in line or something, you can give yourself credit for actually working on an idea. So turning that thinking time into something that gets written, you add a little structure to it. Okay, now you have 10 titles for podcasts or YouTube videos that you were going to film or newsletters you were going to send. And if you want to gamify that process a bit, I think this time tracking template can definitely help with that. So check it out in the description below. It's totally free. You can honestly make your own version of it too if you want. It's super simple. But one of my favorite parts of making it more of a journal-like feel has been making it accessible from my phone. So even if a task only takes me 2 minutes, it takes me 2 minutes to reply to this thing or take care of this other task, that is something that I will still hit new and create a new cell. So I don't bunch together a bunch of different tasks into one cell, or I avoid doing that just so, because it gets thicker and thicker. So I like to keep it focused, and this also allows me to see, oh, how long does it actually take to publish on all the social platforms? How long does it take to design a thumbnail? Tracking my time this way gives me a predictable way every day and every week to take a look at recurring tasks like designing a thumbnail, titling a YouTube video, replying to this email, that email. Whatever those repetitive tasks are, instead of going, oh, this might take me hours and hours on end, it's like, no, it typically takes me 42 minutes, right, on a good day. On a bad day, this can take me 83 minutes. So I typically like to focus on giving each task a cell of its own. And of course, like certain client projects I'm working on that are really long, like there will be multiple cells that come up, right? And what's really cool is you can search that stuff. So if you ever want to look at like, all right, what's all the time I've spent on social posts, right, for myself this month? That's something I'm tracking. I would just type in, hit the search bar right here, type in social, and there's nothing in here now, obviously, but the goal would be, let's say you see 20 of them in here, and that represents the 20 days of this month you actually have made a social post. So it's a very cool way to kind of keep yourself accountable. This last step is totally optional. I prefer to duplicate this sheet and start a new one at the first of every month, right? That way it allows me to keep the monthly sheets kind of, easily trackable versus starting this new sheet and then, never really updating it. I don't know, you could definitely do that. I know some people who download it and watch the video, like they operate that way. But you can easily duplicate the sheet without its existing content, so you don't have to go back and delete everything and just relabel it from the date you're starting. If let's say you start in the middle of the month, okay, so January 15th, 2024, that would become the time where every month on the 15th, I would reset. It used to be the 24th for me. I used to reset on the 24th of every month, and then one month I just extended it a couple days and got on track for the first of every month. So that's an optional step, but it's a way that I like to keep it organized. That way I can easily go back and take a look at that data month by month. So I hope this concept sounded easy and fun for you to track your time towards whatever you're investing your time into and whatever goals you have that you want to reach. I hope this sheet can help you do that a little quicker. So download a free copy of the template in the description below. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for hanging out.